Hey, this is Dr. Story. One of the worst things that you could do if you are a type 2 diabetic is to eat foods that give you rapid rises of blood sugar. Now, this is actually easy to do. I'm going to show you how. Here's what happens. Think of a typical scenario where a person eats for breakfast cereal, and they're eating a cereal that they think is healthy. Let's say they're eating Honey Nut Cheerios or whole wheat squares or cinnamon crisps or whatever people eat, and they're putting milk in it, which is even worse. What ends up happening is they get this spike of blood sugar into their system. Now, our blood sugar should stay between 80 to 100. But what happens is when you eat a breakfast like this, your blood sugar rises fairly rapidly. Then what ends up happening is our pancreas secretes insulin and tries to find ways to deal with that high blood sugar. So it'll store it as fat. Now what happens is, because of the amount of sugar and the size of the serving that we eat, what ends up happening is you get a rapid rise of blood sugar, but then you get a super rapid rise of insulin. What happens is, after a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours, what happens is that insulin overreacted. So what ends up happening is now you've got insulin, so then you get that sugar drop, and most people will feel this as fatigue or tired or jittery or any number of symptoms that they get. Ultimately, what boils down to is if they ate breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning, by 10, 10:30, 11, man, they're getting hungry. So what they do is they go to the vending machine, get some potato chips or some coffee. That kicks them back up. Again, the blood sugar rose, the insulin goes up, you get that same response. Then you go to lunch, and let's say you go to a fast food place, or even if you try to go to a place that you think is healthy, like let's say a Panda Express or a salad place. What you don't realize is that even though you're eating what's considered health food, your body breaks it down into either carbohydrates, fats, or protein. So what ends up happening is, even though, let's say you eat a salad, it's breaking down into carbohydrates and glucose slower than, let's say, a candy bar or cereal, but nonetheless it does the same. So then you have, after lunch, you get another spike of blood sugar. The insulin gets in there, it overreacts, yada, yada, yada. Then by 3 o'clock, how many people have heard about the 3 o'clock blahs? It's almost a cliche to talk about it because everybody thinks it's just considered normal. It's not considered normal. You should not be getting a 3 o'clock blah. But what do people do? They get more coffee. If you work in a big company that has a break room, there's always donuts in there. It's very tempting. Your brain says, I need sugar. So you eat a donut, you have some coffee, you have potato chips, whatever the case may be, 3 o'clock, that gives you that kickstart, and then you go home at 6, 6:30, whatever, and have dinner. For dinner, you think you have something healthy, let's say lasagna and a salad and maybe some wine. What you don't realize is that what I just described, lasagna, salad, and wine, is all pure carbohydrate. You get that kick, the insulin goes up, and the next day you do it again. Over a period of time, this is a problem because it leads to type 2 diabetes. I've mentioned in other videos, one of the disadvantages of diabetes is that spike, that thing that's happening all day long. Your sugar goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Every time it's up, those sugar molecules act like little razor blades and will nick the inside part of your arteries. Those arteries then have an injury, an inflammatory response occurs, and your body starts to lay down plaque inside the artery. The artery starts to close. There's your cardiovascular disease. So the goal is to eat in a certain way where your blood sugar never has these rapid ups and downs. Your blood sugar should be between 80 and 100 and should just almost perfectly stay straight throughout the day. So I've made videos on snacks and blood pressure. I've made videos on snacks and blood sugar. I've made exercises to do things to lower your blood pressure, as well as made advice on what exercises to do for blood sugar. Now, the thing is that for breakfast, if you ate a certain amount of carbohydrates and a certain amount of protein that's balanced, what happens is then your blood sugar stays kind of level. So by 10, 10:30, 11, your blood sugar has been maintaining a level thing. So what ends up happening is you don't get those dips where your blood sugar goes low. Then if you eat a very small snack that involves mainly protein, or you can have protein and a little bit of carbohydrates, you again maintain your blood sugar. By lunchtime, if you eat something healthy there, your blood sugar stays level. You don't get these 3 o'clock blahs. You don't get these things where it seems like the lights are turning out. You just feel exhausted all the time. Your blood sugar stays level. That is the definition of health, when your body can maintain equilibrium and you don't have these spikes. So if you found this video informative, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what questions you have specifically about diabetes. I'm a natural health care provider. I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I help patients with this all the time because diabetes affects not only our cardiovascular health, but our musculoskeletal health as well. So share this video, and thanks for watching, and I look forward to talking to you in the future.